Hey guys, Fuchsia here. So last week, Sword got nerfed. So, Honorable Thief got nerfed to the 2-1, and the Tiger got nerfed without the Accelerate. And I was thinking, is it still good? And because I'm actually really swamped with work recently, and I thought, I might as well try something that's already like formulated. I tried to ask a few people about decks that are interesting from Sword, and here in Kataru from Team Disaster recommended me this one. So I thought Rally Sword would be a bit boring, but I wanted to know just how strong Sword is, so he gave me this Evo Sword deck, which can OTK opponents at turn 10 and deal massive damage at turn 7 or 8 with Kagemitsu, and I thought it was pretty fun. It doesn't rally as fast as Rally Sword, obviously, but it does a lot more control-y tools, and it uses 3 Diamond Paladin, which I pulled 3 of, and one of them was animated, so I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah guys, here's the gameplay. Okay, so the first game I wanted to show was against Bloodcraft. So there's a few variations of Bloodcraft right now, and I think this one is Wrathblood, if I remember correctly. I actually played Blood in my last video, which was Control Burn Blood, which I think is one of the best right now. Wrathblood is interesting. I think people expected it to be strong, just because of all the support it got and kind of losing, being quite hype, but it ended up quite not that good. Either way though, they play 1-drop, and they are using the new Urias leader actually, which I think actually looks okay, looks pretty good as a leader. I don't like him as a sprite in the story, because he just looks weird because his orientation is too centered, and that doesn't look good as a sprite in the story. I don't know, maybe that's just me. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the new Urias looks cool? Anyways, here's why I wanted to show this game. This guy, this madman, is playing Luzen in his Wrathblood deck. I might have to try this, but yeah, I really like Luzen. I really like the design. But either way, they play it, and turn 4 they have more evolution points than us, so they just played another one. A madman, leaving 4 damage with an Evo on board just to play another Luzen. And they heal 4, because I actually forgot about this, but if you have the healing increases if you have more Evos than your opponent. So I just decided to draw here, and thankfully we didn't waste a token because we drew 1 spell. This deck actually runs quite a few spells, so if you play that card to draw 3, there's actually quite a high chance of you just getting a removal 2 from it, because there's so many spells. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. Either way though, they just keep healing and removing my board as much as they can, which is not a lot, to be honest. They're not really popping up that strong here, and I hesitated a bit here because I wasn't sure if the rally count is on 7. But of course it is. Rally 7 is so easy, man. Sometimes I think maybe they should have nerfed the rally, like rally 8 or rally 9 or something, instead of rally 7, and kept the stats. Either way though, I don't think it would make that much of a difference. But either way, they play their best board clear, which is Nerea, of course. And it doesn't clear my board though, it kills 1 follower and weakens the others. And again, keeps healing, going back to 13 I think. But yeah, I have Resolve of the Fallen here, which is really great in this deck because it just kills stuff for like 1 play point. It is pretty awesome. I just decided to play the Honorable Thief here just to up my Evo count and go face. I didn't go face with the Guild because I was trying to avoid him getting Vengeance, but he got Vengeance anyways, and played Selgania. Healing for 5, killing that follower, Fortunately, they can't evolve the Zilgania, so they can't clear this board, but they could remove that follower. Almost to full health, pretty good for them. So I actually can't kill them with the tiger this turn. Like I could suicide the guild and buff the Kagemitsu and give it storm, but I don't think it's actually enough this turn. So I decided to just play another Kagemitsu using the Shadow Clone to make sure I have another chance next turn, and then just play a big board. Unfortunately though, that does mean that they get to play Luzen, and they play the Prison of Pain. Look at my HP just falling. And they evo it, but really, what are you gonna do? They remove that follower. Actually, I thought maybe they should have removed this follower. Maybe they were too afraid. They were trying to mitigate damage probably. Either way though, they're back to 15, but it doesn't really matter because we got the second Kakemitsu, and Tiger ends it. This is usually your finisher in Evolve Sword in this deck. Just buffing it with a Tiger. Pretty easy finish in the end. Pretty interesting deck from them. Madman plays 2 Luzen. Alright, so since this is an evolved deck, and I think the more popular one is still a Rally Sword, I wanted to show actually how it does against Rally Swordcraft. And here we kinda get the perfect turn for both of us. Like I get second, he gets first, he gets to rally faster, I get to evolve more, in theory. But yeah, in the end, he doesn't play a 1-drop, which is unfortunate for Rally Sword. I also don't play a 1-drop, but my only 1-drop is Kakemitsu, so I'm not really concerned. Plays the Steadfast Samurai, and look at this. Elegance draws a spell. The beauty of this deck, sometimes that happens. Still kind of a risk though, but a risk I was willing to take. And also Decisive Strike, another great removal. Just denying them board and then developing our own. Upping our own rally count. They play the Honorable Thief and Mirror Image. Upping their rally count. But we get the Evo next turn. And here I just decide to Fearon. Just to build a slight board. It was either her or Kagemitsu, but I thought I could use Kagemitsu later anyways. So I decided to just do this. And go face. And buff, so I get a 4-4 and a 2-4. Pretty okay. Of course, they have the Amelia. We also have the Amelia. For some reason, it feels like if you play Sword, Amelia will always come to you turn 5, like without fail. Like, I could count the games in with my fingers, like how many times like Amelia didn't come. It wasn't that much. Either way though, I decided to do this just because I kind of wanted to develop more board instead and go face. Plus the Amelia wouldn't be able to kill the Steadfast anyways, and we could use the Resolve of the Fallen for that next turn. And here they play the Tigers. Pretty strong. But I can't kill my 5-7 Wind God. And here's my Kagemitsu. And destroy the thing with the thing that can't be destroyed by anything but spells. And just play the Amelia. And get the free Evo and Rush. And then we just clear easily, and they get to also go face for 5 because they didn't remove this Wind God. You see, because of the controlling tools we have, we actually can do this a lot to rally sword. Just remove their stuff and build our own stuff. And in the end, we end up with a pretty big board. They have the Firen up, but okay. So they play this, which is pretty good removal actually. And they do remove our board pretty well. Taji, I'm not really sure what she's for. And in the end loses the 50-50 and concedes. Okay, so far we've seen this deck be able to finish with the Kagemitsu Tiger classic combo, and also outvalue the opponent. But sometimes you just don't have enough followers that they play to be able to outvalue them with like removal and stuff. And this is kind of it. And this also kind of highlights a bit like how much the turn counter matters. That like whether you go first or second actually matters a lot in this meta for certain decks. So here I played the Kagemitsu just to see if they can remove it, and they could. And they didn't play turn 3. So they just skip here because there might be OTK Vesha, which makes me kind of afraid, and I don't have any good plays until turn 5, in which I just play the Amelia. And because they play the Colosseum on high, I actually get a buffed Amelia. And I just play an 8/8 Amelia and the Gelt. Of course, since they're float portal, pretty easy for them to remove all of this actually. With the Karula, and I think they also have the one play point, destroy, and increase that follower too. Yep. And even a focus on top of that. A pretty amazing turn for them. And we haven't upped our rally count at all, so we can't really outvalue them. We can't really win them by outvaluing. But I do play the Diamond Paladin, which is awesome here because it just becomes a stat monster because of the Colosseum on high. Even reducing the stats of the Karula and giving us back 4 play points. I just played this and I didn't draw a 2-drop. I just played the Kagemitsu just because I thought, when will I play this for 3, you know? Like, look at my hand, I'm probably never gonna play this for 3 anyways. And of course, they play the counter to it, which removes the all of the effects from my followers. I'm not sure they should have played this, but they did, so whatever. So another free evo and the damage mitigation. At this point, I'm kind of thinking like, yeah, I can't really kill them on board because they can control my board very well, and that's where the turn 10, not turn 10, the turn order matters. We'll see that come into play later, but here we can see they're playing some really unique stuff, playing Romantic Chanteuse just to reduce the damage dealt by Amelia to 0, and also playing this obnoxious card, which gives me this. Fortunately, we do have cost reduction cards. I decided to just destroy the Colosseum on high too. Whatever. Just play him just to get the free evo. And look at this, 0 damage. And of course, they just play Boost Kicker and remove everything. Typical. And so, I think here, luckily, the one that procs is the board debuff. So I just play this to up my evo count to by 3. But again, they can control it very, very well. And they're playing the Dawn Splendor here so that the next turn, my OTK turn, isn't going to work. But here's what I don't get. Why didn't they just reduce the damage from Gelp and then kill the thief? I don't get it, because now I get to go face for 5 basically for free. And then with the Regal Tiger, I just go face for 10. Here's the other way Sword can win with this deck. Just give this thing Storm. OTK 4. Okay guys, so that was Evolution Sword. So this deck is pretty strong and it can win from basically against board decks. It can win by out-temping them, by removing their stuff while developing your own pretty well. I think much better than Rally Sword does it. Of course, it doesn't aggro as well as Rally Sword, and it can kind of fail against really unattractive decks. If you do win by not outvaluing them, there's basically 2 ways you can win. Using Kagemitsu and using the world. The world actually OTKs the opponent at 12 plus 4 plus 4 because with their Regal Wildcat. But here's the thing, like you only have one Regal Wildcat, so yeah, if you don't draw him, it's basically really hard. And one problem I have with this deck is that I've actually had like kind of a close to 50% win rate with this deck, simply because a lot of times, well, one, I don't play Sword normally, so probably some subpar plays on my part. But other than that, like a big problem is that because you run so many of these big play point followers, there's actually a pretty high probability to like brick. I've bricked more than once. It happens a lot more than you think because of compared to like Rally Sword. So yeah, that might be a problem. Other than that though, it's a pretty fun deck for a Sword deck. More fun than Rally Sword? Maybe. Definitely less boring, I think. And yeah, that's all for now, guys. I'm kinda tired, so hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up. If you loved it, give me a sub, and have a nice day.